It's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to make start on this fairy journal. So I'm just going to start off by showing you all the bits and pieces I've either bought or pulled in from around my craft room that I thought might work for this journal. So we'll start straight away with these digitals. And I thought I'd put this one on top because I'm hoping that this is the sort of feel that I'm going to go for. I think these this is the style of papers that I really love, and I've actually got two kits here, but I think they work quite well together. I'm trying not to go over the top with the digitals. I'm going to mix it in with some other papers as well, which I haven't got here because at the moment, but I will pull them in later in the video so we can start putting the signature together. So these there are two. The two kits are from, one is from a company called, and I think it's this one, is the Digital Hobby Helper, I think it's called, and the other one is by the Digital Loon, which wonderful names for Etsy shops. So this first one, I think one is just called Fairy Kit, which I think is this one, and the other one is called Enchanted Fairyland, I think. So both beautiful kits, both give the feel that I want, which was a bit whimsical and sparkly, and not too. I didn't want to go overly cutesy. I think that was my feeling, that I didn't want to go super cutesy with this. It's not my it's not my style. I'm going to try to avoid the cutesy. I may not avoid it completely because it's hard to not do cutesy when you're doing fairies, but I thought this kind of sets the tone for me. So I love this one. And then I've just backed it with another one from the same kit, which is more of a journaling page and a bit plainer, but still in the same feel. So it's like sorry, kind of fairy woodland type of things. You've got this idea of little fairy lights in the trees around. This is another one. Slightly different. This fairy is more of a child fairy, I suppose you'd call it. Whether I'm still going to use this one, I haven't quite decided. I still like it. I like all the florals and the slightly mystical background and things. I'm not sure how well she fits in the same. They are from the same kit, but they are a bit slightly different. And then I have backed this one as well. And as you see, my printer hasn't printed everything completely straight, so there will be some trimming needing to be done on some of these pages. So let's just turn them over as I go. So the top ones are the ones I've picked out to probably use in the journal, and then there's a whole load more that I'll just use to make ephemera and things like that. So there's this one. That's a really pretty one. And yeah, I love this one too, and I have packed that one. And there's lots of you can see the colours that are starting to come through. If you remember my the sprays that I was using, there's lots of purples and turquoises and greens in this particular kit, and sort of bluey colours. So I think some of those sprayed fabrics and papers will work really well. Here's another one. It's a very blue one, this one, really pretty. And I've backed that. I've packed it with things that have got a similar feel. So there's this kind of I don't know what kind of design you'd call that, but it's somewhat picked out on the back of that as well. This one I think I've got to reprint. Have I reprinted it? Because the colours, as you can see in these, are so rich that even just printing out the two kits, I ran out of ink. So I've got quite a lot of purple ones somewhere. In fact, I may have got rid of some of those because I had so many. I just kept printing away, and a lot of them went purple because the ink was running out. So this has got a bit of a purple hue on the side, and it's not supposed to. So I think I may need to reprint this one. But another really pretty one, and that's this one. So whether I'll use all of the ones I've printed and printed on the backs of, this one is not printed. So this one I was thinking of not using, but I might use elements of it. These are all from the same, I think this is from the Digital Hobby Helper Etsy shop. And then there's this one, which is more just woodlandy and very green. And then this one, slightly different. It's got the stag, fairy castle in the background. Still got that sparkly look about it. And again the fairy castle. And then this one's just got tiny fairies going all over it. There's two of these. I don't know whether I printed them both. One is more of a green, has more of a green look to it. And this is one or two of the more background pages. Oh no. Alright, this is one. Okay, this is one I must have printed originally. It came out alright, and then I decided I didn't want to use that. So I printed it again with a different background. But that one came out with a bit of purple. So I may have to print that one for a third time. Oh, this is the green one with the fairies all over it in like a fairy glade, I suppose you might say. And this is another background one. And now we're into the purples. So I'll just move right along with those. That one again. Oh, that one because the background went wrong. Yeah, there's been a lot of printing going on. Goodness knows how many times I printed this one. Look at that. There's even more purple. And this one, and this one. Let's get rid of the purple ones. And that one again. Right. Okay, so that's all. One kit. I know there were a few repetitions there. This is the one by Digital Loon. So you can see the colours are similar. You've still got the fairy twinkly lights. You've got the turquoisey colours, but this has got a lot more pink in it and a bit more floral. So I just thought I'd mix it up a bit. So I love this one. In fact, these next two are very similar to each other, if you look. So I'm actually going to only use one of them. Not sure which one I've decided. I think I've decided to use this one because I have backed it with that, which is another page from the kit. So I think this is really because I love the tree. I think that was why with the lantern. But this is very similar as well, also with the tree, slightly more muted. So I thought I didn't want both of them too similar, but I might use it for something else. Then I love this page. This like the little fairy door in the tree. A little teeny weeny fairy there. And then you've got all the beautiful flowers all around it. And I love the look of this. So I think it'll work quite well to mix the two in together. I really like these two kits. And I think they both have they both had the look I was going for with this. And then there's this one. So it's got more kind of illustrative look. More sort of like line drawings on them on some of these pages. And then this is the back of that one. And you can see there's a few mushrooms appearing in this kit. So I think there will be mushrooms. I'm not really a big mushroom fan. I know a lot of people love using mushrooms in their journals, and I'm not one of them. But this journal, there may be mushrooms because mushrooms, toadstools, you do associate them with fairies, don't you? And this was quite an interesting page because it's clearly meant to be folded in half and used as a journaling page, and I think that works quite well. And I do like it, but I've also got that other one. I've got this one as well, which is the whole page. So I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to use both of them because this is like the smaller version of this. And I don't really want to use two the same, but I love them both. And I've backed it with this one, so we'll see. I may use this as a journaling card or something. Anyway. And then there's this one, which is now single-sided. So these are journaling card possibles. Lots of very rich pink. I didn't want to overdo too much pink. I like the pink, but it can be a bit, some of these are a bit too much. There's this one with the the frog playing the violin. Yeah, he's interesting. I'm not a big fan of the frog, so but I like the rest of the paper, so I can still use it in collaging and things. And there's this one which I have used as a backing paper on one of the others. And so all the ones that I have used as backing have also been printed off. Printed this double-sided, but I don't think I'm going to use it as it is. I can't remember why I got that twice. And I've got this twice. So quite a few of these things I've printed more than once. Because they didn't always print out that well on the other side, or whatever reason. I'm not quite sure what the reason was. I printed that twice. Anyway, so that's the two kits. And you can see there's loads there, but I'm just going to pick out a few pages here and there to actually make for my signature, and just use the rest to make ephemera. And then I've been watching a lot of Barbara for 49 Dragonflies. I love her channel. And I actually found in her playlist, wasn't looking for that, I was just looking to see what she had in her playlist. And there was a fairy journal, so I thought I'll have to have a look at this. And she does it with no digital kits or anything. She just does it with a few things she had in her stash. She actually had a couple of fairy dyes which she uses beautifully, and just poured in other things like butterflies and dragonflies, and just made it really beautiful journal. And so one of the things she did was use a lot of envelopes, and this was one of her kits called Vintage Envelopes, and I love the look of it, the way she put them together. So I've actually made one. So this is the kit, or the digital page, and it ends up with a little envelope like that, and you just make it like a little pocket really, and you just sew the two halves. But you just stick the two halves together and ruffle it up a bit, and it makes a really sweet little vintage pocket. And I really like the way she's used pockets and envelopes and things. And I found a lot of inspiration in her journal, even though it's completely different to the one I'm doing. Some of the things that she made and the way she used things, I really found inspiring, and I'm going to be hoping to make lots of little envelopes and things to tuck things in, and little tiny fairy-sized things. I love the way she did those, and made them hidden fairies and things. You know, she just made them all quite subtle. I'm not very good at subtle, so that'll be a challenge. But I'll try mixing the subtle with the kind of quite bold colours that I've got going on there, but maybe perhaps not overload it with the bold colours. So I bought this one from her, and I'm going to make up the rest of these little envelopes. I just wanted to show you how it looks before it's all been cut out. And I also bought from her, which she uses in her journal, which really gives it that fairy theme, is her fairy sentiments, and they're brilliant. And I couldn't, I thought, well, I wasn't even, thinking about buying these, something like this, but they're just what you need, just to dot about the book and give it that fairy theme. So something like always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. I think they're quite, what's the word? Positive, I suppose, is one of the, well, not the word I'm looking for, but that's the word I've come up with. Positive sentiments, life affirming, I suppose, in a lot of ways. This journal, one of the reasons I've decided to do this one, I hadn't really any plans to do a fairy journal, but I had been thinking possibly I'd like to make a journal for my niece in Australia. She's had a really tough couple of years. She's been quite poorly. They've had awful trouble diagnosing what's wrong with her. It's possibly lupus, or she's been pretty much, even without lockdown, she's not been able to go to school. She's coming up for 17 at the end of November. But I believe she's not really had much chance to go out with her friends, and so I didn't want to make this a really young fairy journal, but I thought if I make it very tactile with lots of pretty things and nice bits of fabric and lace, and I just thought it might be something she might enjoy. They lost, as my girls did, their nan last October, because it's my brother-in-law and his family, and I thought, she may feel very cut off from her English family, and I have sent her things over the years. I've often made things for her and sent them over, and I think she's quite enjoyed them. And I made her a very small Christmas journal last year. I just thought perhaps something like this she might enjoy, and I might put some little encouraging sentiments in amongst it, just to say, to let her know we're all thinking of her and hoping that she can kind of come through this really difficult time. So that's one of the reasons for doing the fairy journal. It just seemed to match in my mind that something like that would work for her. And I think Gail Agostinelli has done a couple of fairy journals recently, so the idea of a fairy journal, I think, was in my mind, and that's how it came about, really. It sort of came to me during the night, as things often do. I'm often laying there in the middle of the night and planning things, and things just sort of pop in my head, and I think, oh, that's a good idea. And then I just, as it it did one night, and I got up the next morning and I was on the laptop looking at Etsy, what can I find? Can I find any digitals that I like? And here we go. And that was, before I knew it, I was surrounded by stuff. These two kits come with an absolute mountain of ephemera as well. So I've got it actually split into two lots. I'll only show you briefly a few of them, and I've mixed them all together because As I said before, I think it all goes quite well. So there's a bunch of tags. Some I've been trying to work my through, getting them all cut out, getting them backed. These are still waiting to be backed. And there's some nice little envelopes, loads of tags. There's lots of, and they've got a bit stuck together. Lots of little pockets like this, very small pockets. Little journal cards, like postcardy things. More pockets that need to be cut, need to be made up. I've made up loads, and there's still so many more to do. More postcards. These are kind of, I think, like a belly band, but you could make them into a tag if you wanted to. I have backed this one, so it gives myself the option, and it also just stiffens it up a bit. Lots of pockets, and more belly bands and tags. So a lot of the stuff that, you know, I could use the digital kits for, they're already made for me. Look at this. I thought that would make a lovely belly band. Then some nice bigger postcards. This one is quite nice and stiff now because I've double backed it. I've backed it onto a book page and then onto some, I think there's avocado dyed paper. So that's nice and ready to go. And then these gorgeous fairy postcards that I've just got to finish working on. I've backed them onto book page, and I just need to give them a backing so they can be written on. But these are really pretty. Really pretty. I love these. And then I think they're all from the same kit, this one. So this is from the Digital Loon kit. And then these are a bit more general. And a lot of them are obviously based on the full-size pages. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of more things in here. I won't go through any more on these. So these are what they call the larger digital. So I just want to show you some of these. These were a couple in one of the kits. So these are like little framed sentiments. I do believe in fairies, and fairies gather here. Quite like the idea of this on the front of the journal. So I might put that, or find a way to use that on the front of the journal. Alright, so let's put these all back in here. There's so much to look at. And these are all just the tiny, tiny ones. There's loads of tiny bits of ephemera, little tiny tags, little tickets, look at these little tiny things. More of these little sentiments in frames. There's a smaller version. There's little stamps like this. And you see, I've been doing a lot of cutting out. It's taken me ages. Little teeny pocket here. And all sorts of bits and pieces, little flower shapes. And yeah, loads. So there's still a little bit of work to be done on these as well, but I am getting there. Little tags. These are quite fun. I looked at these and I wasn't sure, well, what are they for? What do you do with those? But I figured it out last night, and so this is what they end up as. So they're basically self-backing. They start off like that. I'm sure you would have known straight away what these were. And you just cut them out, fold them over and stick them. I haven't stuck them together yet. But yeah, so they're self-backing tags, so they're handy. They're rather good. And very, very small. So all these little pockets, and I think they're ideal for the fairy journal to have all these teeny tinies. But I think what I will need as well to make are some larger things, like perhaps some side tucks or something, or some larger journal cards or larger tags, just because everything is so small and I'm going to do a standard size journal, so I need a balance. I need some bigger things as well as smaller things, so that's what I probably will use the digital kits for. So that's just the digital stuff. And then I've got all these bits and pieces. These are things I've gathered, or mostly what I've found on Etsy. And so, as you probably remember from the last video, that's my little stamp set. So that was the stamp I used, just to do my little reveal. There were different stamps to choose that I found. I just bought this one set because you've got slightly bigger ones, and then you've got little tiny ones that can just be dotted in amongst things. And then it says, believe in the magic, have a magical day. So they're quite nice sentiments to add. And there's the moon, and there's a few little bits and pieces, little swirly stars and things. So I think they'll be quite good to use. And then I also picked out this one, which is my dragonfly stamp, so I think I'll probably want to use that. This is something I painted a while ago. One of my, I can't remember what it was for. I think it was when I was doing the folio. And I thought, well, maybe that can be used as a tuck or something, because that's quite pretty. I found these in my stash, some little green butterflies. I thought they might go somewhere. Also unused in my flower stash, Prima flowers, and I love the colours of these, and they've got the bits of netting, and so a couple of those might work in there somewhere, I don't know. Well, this is something I bought. I found on Etsy. This is images or pages from the flower fairies, and I do like the flower fairies. I mean, these are quite big ones. I think a lot of the flower fairies books are very small, but these are quite big images. They just come with the images, and they're double-sided. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. It's really sweet. And the Snapdragon Fairy, the Pink Fairies. So whether I use all of them, I don't know. I really love them. But what I thought I might do is, for instance, I can just hinge them together like this. All the different sizes, I hadn't realised that. I can hinge them together and put them in the signature just as they are, just because they're really pretty. I don't think I'd want to cover them up. I'm probably just do 4, so I do 2 sets of 2. Pick out my 4 favourites and hinge them together and put them in a signature like that, just as pages on their own, just because they're beautiful. I think that's what I'm going to do with these when I've figured out which ones I want to use. So that might be something we can do a bit later in the video. I'm hoping to put my signature together in this video, though time is marching on and I've still got lots to show you. Okay, so that's those. And I bought this, what they call it, from one lady, and she did like this fairies ephemera pack, and it's, look how thick that is. It's absolutely stuffed full of fairies. I've just added one of my seals to it, just so I can close it. But it's absolutely rammed with lovely things that I can use in this journal. This just seems to be a little bag of confetti, which I'm not quite sure how I'd use that. There's some really pretty doilies, some of which have been clearly die cut by her, but otherwise a nice little selection of really pretty doilies. Couple of cards, journal cards, 3 journal cards. I've got this piece here, Garden Fairies. Don't know, that's a bit big. I'm not sure I'll be able to use that. I don't think I'll be able to use all of these things, but there's quite a nice collection of bits and pieces in here. A little piece of paper with a fairy on it, which I might be able to use on a journal card. A few pages, I think, from journal. This is called the Ultimate Fairies Handbook, so there's a beautiful image there. And a couple of pages of just text in there. And this is from the Cicely Mary Barker Flower Fairies book. A few pages from that. So you've got the front page and then the Buttercup Fairy. Isn't she sweet? Now that's more the size that you kind of expect to see, and I can use that as a journaling card, no problem. And then the little poem on the back, and that's the Song of the Buttercup Fairy. That's just, and then there's the Ragwort Fairy as well. Oh, and there's another one on the back, Traveller's Joy Fairy. So I've got a few more flower fairies there. Another page of text here. A couple of pages from another book, I think. There's another couple of book pages. Fairy Friends. And this one, and I'm thinking I can probably fussy cut around some of these little things and dot them around, maybe. And there's I think this is a little set of envelopes and writing paper to go with it. So again, that could be used quite happily in here. I might be able to. And then there's some little stamps to use as, or little sticker stamps, I suppose these are. There's those. A couple of really beautiful more images of fairies. That's more a mermaid really. And this one. And this one. Not so sure about this one. It's more an image from an art book, I think. And then another book page, which is really vintagey looking. These I'm not sure if I'll be able to use. These are clear. These are really thick board. See how thick that is. I'm not sure how I'd use them. I don't know. But it gives the rest of it a bit of protection because it's nice and because they're stiff. So there's those bits, and then I just have this last little envelope, which has got all sorts of little bits and pieces in as well. So I've got, these are quite thick board pieces, clearly from a, see it's been torn off possibly a book. A few little images as well, just little bits and pieces. Really sweet. This is lovely. These are, oh yes, a couple of puzzle pieces. They're interesting. I might be able to use them in some way, but they are very thick again. This is the issue I've got. They're very thick. So I don't know. I don't know whether I'd be able to use those or not. But a nice little selection. So I've definitely got some things I can pick out of this ephemera kit. So that goes back in the box. Got anything else in here? Not really. What else have I got? I've got a few stamps here that I picked out. I've got quite a lot of Dilution stamps by Diane Reevely. I may have mentioned her before. She's the one all the paints and a lot of the sprays I used. I watched her videos a lot last year in lockdown. Did a lockdown art journal that she was she was doing a video a day, and I was working along with her. And during that time, I bought a lot of her stuff, and I bought a lot of her stamps because I used them in my art journal. And I just picked out ones I thought might be usable because look at these beautiful wings. They're definitely something I can print onto some of those sparkly papers that I did, and then cut out some pretty wings, and they have them peeking out from somewhere, side of the page maybe. Then I've got a page of toadstools, so I might be able to use those. Then I've got this, and I'm thinking fairy house, side tuck maybe, don't know, could use that as a, you know, it's definitely got a fairy house look about it. And then on the page of sentiments, there's one that says, until you spread your wings, you have no idea how far you'll fly. And I thought, well, that works quite well in this journal too. So I might use that. So they're the stamps that I've picked out from my Dilution stash that I might use. And then finally, I have a box full of fabrics. Well, I say full. I've picked out a few. So as you know, this is going to be my inside cover of my journal. I'm going to use the good old envelope. That's my because I like how soft it is, and it's, you know, because you can expand it. If you use, I kept thinking about using a hard cover book or something, and I thought, the way I fill my journals, there's no give in those, and you are quite limited. So I thought if I need it to, you know, just fold round a bit more and expand a little bit, you get a bit more of that possibility with the envelope. So I'm going to stick with that for this journal. And then on the front, I've got this. My sister gave me this. I didn't know at the time what I would use it for. I just knew I liked it. I think it's a table runner. Yeah, so look at this. I mean, I think that just perfect to go on the front of this journal. So, and it's very long. I've got loads of it. So there is the, do something with it. It's going to be challenging because obviously it's all these sequins I'm going to have to cut through somehow and stick it on. So it's going to be quite a challenge. That might be a challenge for the next video, I think. We'll see how I go. Then I've also got this scarf that I haven't used. I think it might have belonged to somebody. It might have even been my sister's. I can't remember. It's all covered in, again, sparkles and butterflies. So I thought it's very see-through, but it's really pretty, and I thought maybe I can use that, cover something like tag with it. I really don't know how I'm going to use some of these things. I've got some turquoise netting. This was from a tutu that I wore for an 80s night that we had at work one year. So I cut all the netting off and got rid of the rest because it was just a cheap thing off Amazon. This tutu. Yeah, you don't want to know what that was all about. But I thought the netting, and I have used it a couple of times on other things. So, and this is obviously going to work quite well in this journal too, if I can find a way to use it. And I've also got this beautiful grey, slightly shiny organza-y stuff. It's very see-through. But I was thinking I could spray on it, spray some pink sparkle on it or something. Again, I've got one or two ideas how I might use it. I might be able to use it to make wings or something. I don't know. So we'll see how that looks. And then a bit more ordinary fabrics. I've got this with covered in little tiny strawberries. I might be able to use that, not sure. I've got this really pretty, again, very see-through lilac fabric with, it's like a chiffon. It's got flowers embroidered on it. It's really pretty. Got this piece here which has got little like woodland creatures on it, really. It looks like a little piece of woodland. That's all I've got, this little scrap. It's got little deer and squirrels, and I thought that was quite sweet, little toadstools. So it's nice little sweet little fabric. And then I've got these ones for the William Morris, what's it called, Fat Quarter set that I got from Hobbycraft last year. And again, they've all got that woodlandy feel to them, sort of organic, naturey feel, and I thought maybe they might work quite well as well. So particularly this one, I really like this one. I think this has the feel to it that I'm looking for. So again, I'm just giving myself lots of options here. I don't know how I'm going to use them, whether I'll use them, but that's all the fabric that I've picked out that I might use. As we go along, we'll see. So that's pretty much everything. Obviously I'm going to bring in things like glitter, possibly sequins, possibly or probably, bring in that sparkly feel to things, add sparkle to some of the ephemera that I've already got, and there we go. So that's all the stuff for the fairy journal. I can't believe how much I've gathered in such a short time. I've got enough here probably to do 2 fairy journals at least, I think. Anyway, so I'm going to just turn the camera off and then we'll just put the try and put the signature together. Be right back. Okay, I'm back to try and put the signature together. I've just reprinted this page yet again, and I've trimmed all the other pages. So I've got rid of all the white edges where the printer just didn't quite, it never seems to quite completely print these both sides without some sort of white border somewhere, and so I've got that side and on the back. So I've now got a selection of pages, and I have to say I started subscribing to HP Instant Ink, I think it's called, just before Christmas. I'd been buying, I think, a cartridge just about every month, at about £30 a time. And now I pay about 1/10 of that on a monthly basis, and they just send me an ink cartridge when I need it, and it covers me for 100 pages a month. 100 and I'm not using, even with this, I still haven't hit my 100 for this month. So it's a really good deal. So if anybody's got an HP printer, I don't know if it works, yeah, presumably you have to have an HP printer. It's saving me a fortune, and I've never been more grateful for it than with this kit, because as I showed you, it is so intense on ink. I've actually gone through, and the cartridges they send you are extremely, they're bigger than the normal size cartridges. They're extra long, and I've still gone through a whole one of those, and I'm halfway through another one. So it's a really, really good deal, and I'm really grateful for it, and it's saving me so much money. Anyway, having said that, I've got these pages. Whether, I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but I thought I'd go through and decide. Partly you can't really tell if you're going to be able to use it as a part of the signature until you fold them in half. So I thought I'd just do that and see how they look. And I think this one is clearly going to be a good one because it sort of divides quite naturally into two. I think I might just take these to one side and do them one at a time so I can line them up properly and see how they look when they're folded. And then I'll have to decide my front one and my middle one. So that one is that's a definite. Now this one I'm thinking, let's fold it and see. This might be a good one for the middle. I do love this one, but it does work okay as a half and half, except that you end up with the fairy on the back, which is a bit of a shame because I like her. But anyway, so that one might work. I might have to fold it the other way and put that in the middle because I quite like this spreading tree going across the middle. So maybe I'll try folding it the other way and think about having that one in the middle. So I'll put that inside here. And we've got this one. See how that looks. So it goes either like that or the other way. Maybe I'll just do some of them that way and some of them the other way. Yep, okay, let's do that. And this one I think I'm going to fold this way. Although I said that all my pages went purple because I was running out of ink. This one is actually meant to be purple. It was even more purple than when the ink was going. I mean, if you can believe that, it was very, very purple. But yes, there is meant to be purple on this page. Oh, that's a pretty one. With all the little delicate flowers going down the side. I love that. Really like that. And that's also really pretty. Yeah, gorgeous. I'll do that way. So definitely flowers will work really well. Yeah, flowers will work, but I mean butterflies. There's clearly a lot of butterflies in this. So they were all from the Fairy Kit by Digital Hobby Helper. So there's 4 pages of that. I don't know if there's any more in that kit. And then I've got this one. And I've got to decide really between these two, because I don't think it works to use both. So I'm inclined to use this one. I think. Oh, looks like it needs a little bit more of a trim at the top there. I didn't spot that. That's just because this is a natural fold in half, and I'm thinking this might be quite a good first page. Oops. Because you've got I've got that thing that says fairies live here, and I thought I could either go on the front of the journal or on the first page, and then you've got the fairy door. She's very beautiful too, and then this on the back, so maybe that's a possible front page. So maybe we can do this one this way, or should I do it the other way? No. Can do it that way. I can always change them around. Got that. So I'm just going to, I think, discard this one for now. I may come back to it, but I don't think it makes sense to have two the same. Even though I really love that. Oh well, we'll see. Let's see if I've got enough pages. I didn't want to overdo the digital kit, but I think I've almost been too ruthless and given myself not very many. So how many pages have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I might want... Let's see what else I've got and see how many we get to. So that's 7 of those. Then I have got my flower fairies. I've got these. And I wanted to have some of these hinged into the journal. So I've split them into 2 sets. I've got 8 pages, but those 4 are that size and this 4 are a bit bigger. So I'll have to split them, have two together of these and match these up. So then I have to just choose which 2 pairs I want in the journal. And I really like her, the Tulip Fairy. Forget-me-not Fairy. I'm not so keen on these babies as fairies. I know it's just me. But I think she's quite sweet. Nice colours. Because I've also got to think about the colours of the journal and what will work and what won't in the journal to some extent. Canterbury Pearl, got the purpley colours. And she's really pretty. That's a possible. She's really lovely. The Rose Bay Willow Herb Fairy and the Red Clover Fairy. Yeah, that one's a nice one. And the Snapdragon, the Pink Fairies. That's really pretty. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to try and pick 2. Tricky choice. Because I'm thinking that it's not really a lot of red in the journal, and I'm wondering how well the red ones will go. That's really pretty. That's pink and pink. I think I might go with that one. Then I have to choose which one to put with her. That's purple, which is lovely. I know that's red, but I do quite like that. Those 2 together. They go together. Maybe they will go. Okay, let's try those ones. And that one there, and then I've got to choose a pair from this little set. Oh, I love her. Yeah, that's a definite. I really like the Poppy Fairy, but I've got the same problem, a lot of red. And then I've got the orangey yellow, so although I like them, I don't think they really go. Not so keen on him, or him particularly. So we've got the Scarlet Pimpernel Fairy and the Greater Knapweed Fairy. Okay, I can live with those 2. Yeah, I think these are nice. Right, so that's my choices. And I'll put those aside now, and then we've got to just make a hinge for each one. Oops. So I've got a bit of leisure paper. I've got it already folded to go. Okay, I'll use this, and I think this is a bit of what's it, paper? Avocado dyed, that's the word. So I think I might just put it on there like that. So let's just do this. What I'll do is I'll trim it off after. That one on that side. Then I might use a bit of washi tape to decorate it. It doesn't look too great on the inside for some reason. Okay. Okay. So those two are hinged together, and I'm going to have to put something nice, something pretty down the middle there, I think. I don't really like the look of that now that I've done it. Let's just trim this off. I don't know whether it's because the glue seems to be coming through for some reason. Okay, so those two are done, and I might even put a little bit of something around this as well. So that's that one. And then I'm going to do my larger pair. I think I'll do that. I'll do them like that. So then I've got then I'll have the hinge on her. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll hinge it this way then. And hinge it that way. And then I won't be covering any of this side up. Okay, that one's looking better. And I'll do it that way. No, that way. That's it. Right. I haven't quite decided at the moment how I'm going to cover this, but I may need to. I put another something around the outside. Okay, so those are done, more or less. And then I've got a collection of my dyed papers. So this is some avocado dyeing that came out really dark on one side, but I quite liked it because there's this doily imprint on it. And actually there was one of these went really well with it. Look at the colour with that. So that might be a perfect match to that. So yeah, so I definitely should put those together, I think, in some way. Or maybe that would have to go like that. Yes, so I'm going to try and definitely put those together. So I might try that. And then I've got a couple of other avocados. So I may not use all my avocado dyed. Most of it, because after I think this was my first attempt, and of course it came out really dark. Not both sides. This side is not as dark, but it's a bit more a warmer pink, really, more of a peachy colour in the middle. So this was my second attempt at avocado dyeing, a bit more successfully the colour I was aiming for, which was pale pink. So I thought, well, maybe it'd be good to have a bit of both, not have it all one colour. So one of those. I've got a couple of coffee dyed ones, because that's always good to have. And they'll be good for stamping on, adding things to, decorating up. You've got your nice plain bases to do something with. And again, I've got a slightly darker one, and then this paler one. And then I've got some of this food colouring dyed paper in a darker shade and a lighter shade. Okay, so there's that one and that one. And I think I probably don't need this one. And then I picked out a couple of envelopes that I might use. I don't know quite how. I want to use envelopes throughout the journal in some way. At the moment I haven't quite decided which of these I want to put in the signature, so I might do this one because I quite like the idea. I've seen, I think probably Barbara kept it, somebody I saw, oh it might have been, perhaps it was you, Brenda, giving me this idea of sticking this down and then having it as a tuck on either side in the signature. So I might do that, and then you've got a bit more envelope to play with if you're going to do it that way. But I've also got this one, which is that warm pinky colour again, as in some sort of version of that. That goes quite well with this, so I might put that in, I'm not sure. And I might use a few other small ones here and there as well, but not in this. So this is just picking out what things I might put in the signature. So probably it'll be this one, just because I quite like the size and the shape. Something different. So let's see if we can just put some of these together and see how it looks as a whole, and see if we've got enough stuff. I have got quite a nice selection of doilies, but I'm not sure I'm going to put a doily in as part of the signature. I might just use them as decorative elements. Okay, where shall I start? So I was thinking of having this as my opening page, wasn't I? So with that, so maybe start with that. Some of the avocado paper. And mix it up a bit. Oh, that's got a nice little bit of pink in it, so that might be good to have next. And there. And what about my little Canterbury Bell Fairy? Oh, look at that, that's gorgeous, isn't it? That goes quite nicely in there. Oh, and then I knew I was going to have to put some of this in there, so that would go well. And perhaps a bit of that would be good. Or maybe, let's see what else I've got here. Maybe this one. No. How am I doing? No, I think this one might be good next. Got the pink coming across, the warm, slightly warmer pink. Go into that. Bit of coffee dyed in there. What can we do now? Change colour scheme a little bit. What's this one? This is the middle one. So nope. I think that one next. Picking out the little colours, the coloury bits there. Okay. I think some of this would be good now. And then that one. And how are we doing for this? Where's this open? I think I've got another blue here. So don't really want all the blue together, do I? Maybe coffee dyed in there. And paler blue in there. There's one working here, maybe. Just trying to get the colours to work together. I really like the idea of putting this one and this blue together. Now I've got to squeeze this one in somewhere. Have I got any more? Let that go in there. Maybe if I do it that way around, that might work. I think I've still got a little bit of trimming needs doing. Going like that. And then all I've got to do is find a home for the envelope. How are we doing? I think that's probably plenty. Let's have a look. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 16 pages. I think that's rather a lot. I think I need to bring that down a little bit. Okay, are there any that are not, what's the word, filling me with joy? I'm not sure about this one. I don't think that's filling me with joy. I think it's too much pink. And this still works because there's blue in the sky. I could move it. See if there's anything else I can remove. Too much coffee dyed together. I've got a bit of an issue with the purple and purple go well, but these two clash horribly. But then that works really well there. Yeah, got a bit of a problem there, haven't I? I think maybe I'll have to take this out because it doesn't really go with any of the colours elsewhere. Okay, so I think that, that pleases my eye better to have the lighter pink behind there. Okay, so I've had a bit of a play, I've taken some out, moved things around, and I think this is now my final signature version. And I've got it down to 13 pages. I just think 15's a bit just too many. The way I load up my journals with Ephemera, I don't really want it unmanageable. So I'll probably it will still get really fat, but at least I'm not starting off with a really fat wad of paper. So this is the first page, and then I've got the pink avocado dyed, which goes really well with this pink, the pink in this page, and then the purple on the background with the purple here. Decided to put some coffee dye paper. I've popped in my envelope here. It may move, but at the moment it's going here. Decided to put the coffee dye paper here just because I think it's a bit more soothing to the eye than either of the other colours that I was using. And also I was ending up having too much pink together. And then the other side of that also goes quite well with this page. And then I've got on the back here, I've got the first piece of blue, which then goes nicely with this page. Whoops. And then I've got my avocado dyed here. which goes better, I think, here with this flower fairy than the blue did. So I've just swapped things around a little bit. And then I've got him, and actually that all goes quite nicely, and then that goes quite well as well. This blue page with this blue paper, which I really wanted to be the page next to my middle, which I love. And then it's all looks okay, hopefully, on the other side, which I haven't really checked, but there we are. I've got to do something about these hinges. I think I made them too wide, so I need to decorate them in some way, possibly some pretty paper or something, or I'm not even sure if I've got washi that will be wide enough. So now I've got the pink on the pink, which I like, and then a bit of pink here. There's a bit of pink in this page, so that works quite well. Then the blues, and then there is little touches of blue in this one. These little dashes are all blue, so I think that would work quite well. And then the coffee dye goes quite nicely on here. And then there's the other end of the envelope. My little cute little red clover fairy. And the other fairy, which goes quite nicely with the purple. And then there's that. And the end. The last page. So yeah, I'm a bit happier with those going together. I think those colours work reasonably well. I think mixing the two kits works quite well. I don't think you really know which one is which. They both have the same feel to them, I think, in my head. I will do a bit of trimming. There's just a little bit of some of these pages are just sticking out a little bit, so I'll trim those all off camera. So there we are, that's our signature. When I come back to do the next video in this series, I will be doing the cover. Fingers crossed that all works out. So I'll see you then. Bye for now.